Okay, so here we go. Yes, we've got a notification. So this is going to be product photography at home. How to take stunning photos at home. So you've been given something to photograph, or you need to photograph something for a website or whatever. This is basically going to be a shoot along, and you're going to see me shoot. We have some watches. Specimen 1. Lighting is all focused on the table, so you probably won't see a great shot of it. Specimen 2. Specimen 3. And the fourth one is a dodgy one because it's like a curved Casio G-Shocks type watch. So it's hard to lay down flat. Okay, so we've got a few props. A bit of offcut of wood. So we're going to incorporate that into the photos somehow. And you basically just watch me. I'll take photos. This is your relaxation, watching me work. So that's just a basic shot there of them lying down on the table. 24-70 lens. Let me do a top-down shot. So that's what it looks like at the moment. And we need to spice things up a bit. So first I'll do these 3 watches and we'll see how they look, and then we'll move on to some more watches. So first things first, how can we make this interesting? So move the watches out of the way. I have some wood offcuts. There's one block of wood. We'll put that down, we'll play with it. There's another one. There's another one here. Interesting. And there's another one here. So I reckon let's go for a standard just on top of wood in like a funky design. So let's actually, one thing I want to do is watches, so always 10 past or 10 to. So 10 past 10 or 10 to 10, smiley face basically. So that's number 1. 10 past or 10 to. Big watches, big faces, beautiful watches. Okay, so I'm just basically prepping right now. So 10 and another one here, 10 to 10 or 10 past 10. Okay, make sure you have a little cloth on hand, which I did here. I'll just give them a good wipe so your fingerprints aren't on them, because the last thing you want on there is your fingerprints. You know what, I might be able to zoom you in. There you go, that's probably a better shot for you, isn't it? Okay, so let's rock that there. If you're in chat, let me know. It's just a live demonstration to see how things go. Okay, so I'm basically cleaning. That's number 1. Cleaning. That's going to be number 2. Cleaning, number 3. So now, how can I position them in a nice way? Let's try something like that and see what that does. Also, is going to be making sure I get them all in frame, or I might concentrate on one. Let's see what that looks like. So I bring you up to my, you should see the photo pop up when I take it. Okay, that's shot number 1. Oh, okay. Okay, I'm concentrating on this one here, which is the first one. Not bad for a first attempt. It's a bit blurry, so we need to up things up a bit. So you know what, let's whack in some extras. So I have a bike light here. So you know, light you have normally on bikes, cycles, you basically turn it on, turn it off. So something cheap that most people can get. I'll just position that there and give a bit of a light on it. Let's see if that adds anything to it. I'm going to put something underneath it to raise it a bit, like when you want something. Okay, let's try the back of that. So let's try that there. And just need a bit of weight behind it. Just back that up. Okay, there we go. So now let's do another shot. You can see this on screen. So that's the first shot. 5.6, 850. Second shot. So see that light is giving it a bit of a moody effect. We'll zoom in on these and pick out the best one, but we'll just take a set of photos right now. Let me just see if I can do a standard side by side, but like progressively getting bigger. So that's just a cheapo light there. Can I do something like that? Actually, I could probably hold it with my other hand. Okay, let's try this. Okay, that's another shot there. No, not as good. So let's try. I have a flash. So if you have a single flash, you can bounce it off the ceiling. Let's try that on full power. Okay, we'll bounce it off the ceiling and see if that makes a difference. So if I go, I might stand up for this actually. Let me just do a standing up shot. Okay, so that's too bright, which means we can knock. That was too bright, so now we can knock down the ISO. You'll see on screen there, that's how bright it was. So now we need to turn down the ISO. I'll bring it down to say ISO 200. Let's try that. Okay, now we're getting a bit closer. There's a lot of shine there. This is where we want soft boxes. Let's make that full screen. Okay, so let's try a bit of less power on the flash. Oh, actually, you know what? I'll make the aperture higher. Let's try one more. Okay, that's one there with the aperture 8. Interesting. Let's try another one. Okay, so right there I focused in. Let me bring up the photos so I can show you it and explain it. Okay, so that will be pictures, camera roll. Okay, here we go. So if I bring that image to you now, let's flip it around. Okay, there's the image. Okay, so you can see there's the images. There's still a lot of work to do to make it pro, but we're getting closer to where we want to be. There's a lot of reflection on that there. We can get rid of the reflection by doing a few things, which I'll show you right now. Okay, let's get rid of those. Okay, so we've got reflections. In that scenario, what we'll do is swap the watches around, because that watch that's in the middle here has a dome, and we want to basically lift it up slightly so the light doesn't hit it straight on. Let me just bring that up. Okay, Let's have a look at that one. So now these are challenging watches, but what we'll do is work our magic. So let's get it's a little 20p piece, some bit of money, just a bit of money there. I'm just gonna put it behind one of the watches just to raise it enough so that the light doesn't bounce. So let's try that again. We're at F8. You can't see the screen. Let me put it on the right screen. There we go. Let's see what that one looks like. Okay, there we go. So now that we put that 20p piece in, you'll see that screen's a bit better. Still glossy and reflecting light, which isn't great, but we can work with that. Okay, so that's, we'll call that number 1. We can pull some colors back in RAW because it's shooting in RAW. Now let's go to a second setup. So I'd like something a bit more interesting. So if I do something like maybe something like that with like a bit of a backdrop on it, and then put the watches on. Maybe a bit of a just the face of the watch. See what that looks like. So you can see it's just a case of playing about with different things to see what works. Okay, let's try that. Okay, so number 2. Okay, a little bit dark, no problem. So you'll see this watch here is very, very dark, which means the light is not getting to it. So we just spin it around a little bit. And give it a bit more light. Let's try that. Okay, still not enough light, so let's use our little light here and just use that there to give it a bit of luminance. Let's try that. Now I should be able to see the difference slowly coming, but I'm not really happy with that composure. Let's try and get them a bit closer together. How about if I put them all up, like as in just the faces? The same angle, maybe. Let's try. Let's try that. See what that looks like. Okay, I need to get a bit lower down, so let's go. Let's try that. Okay, a little bit better, but let's go a bit artistic and get a bit of blur in this. Let's try something like that, maybe a bit slanty shanty. Not really, but let's carry on and try and focus on just one of the watches. Okay, so with this lens right now, I'm getting to the closest focusing range, so I can't get any closer to the watch without getting blurred. So that's where in lenses you get that focusing range. So I'm going to swap lenses for a macro lens. So right now I'm swapping over to a macro lens, and you'll see the difference straight away. I'll do the same shot but with the macro lens. So that's a quick lens swap there. Now watch the difference here. So you see the first watch there. Make sure I've got a nice little balance. Okay, now watch that. See how close I am there? Even closer. So that's a nice close shot. Let me do a flat one so you can see all the detail in there. Sometimes you can turn the autofocus off into manual focus, and you can actually, because it's trying to hunt, you might be hearing it. So there, I've got a little bit closer there, and you can see that detail there. Still not bright, so let's give it a bit of light and try that again. Okay, there, I gave it a bit more light, so you'll see. Oh, I moved. What shutter speed am I on? 50. Okay, so let me change my shutter speed so my hand motion doesn't cause it any problems. You should see on the little box here the settings I'm shooting at. So over here, it kind of adjusts automatically. Let's try that. It's a bit clearer, but it's on the logo mainly. Okay, so that was one type of shoot. We'll have a look at those photos afterwards. Let me try another type of shoot. It's just some watches and some products, so it'll be interesting to see what else we can do with these. How about if we do something like okay, how about if we do like just a standing like that, maybe. Let's try that. That might be actually quite good because they're quite robust watches. So if I do something like you need some clamps around is basically what you need. One, because I don't think they're big enough to go around that wood. Let's make sure the clamps hold them in place. Let's try 2 just to make sure it looks okay. So something like maybe you probably can't see that very well. Let me I'll just see what it looks like and then I can adjust it properly if it looks nice. Back on autofocus. Make the light. See what that looks like. Okay, not bad, but how about we do a bit of a slanty? So maybe let's try that. See what that looks like. Not bad, but I'm getting a bit of the desk underneath, so let's put something underneath there. Okay. Still getting some of the desk, so hide the desk with there. Let's see what that looks like. Okay, not bad. Okay. This one's quite a challenging one because the dome of it's round, so it's like lifted, so the light's never really hitting it. But in RAW, we can get some detail back from that. Some detail shots of the strap. Again, we get a bit of light and just shine a bit of light in the spot that we want. And just to show some of the strap detail. Still a bit dark. Give it a bit higher ISO. There. Okay, a bit too shiny there. Okay. So that was a few. Oh, I didn't even show you the screen there. Yeah, there. So that's the strap. Okay. So that's a quick look at that. Let's try the other watch. There's one more watch that we haven't taken any photos of, which is like a proper army style watch. That might look better on this wood actually. It's got a bigger strap as well. It actually fits around, which is good. So let's do that one. Okay, see what that looks like. Okay, quick shot. Okay, and that's too bright, so let's try that. 10:2. Okay, let's try that one more time. Look at that, 2 minutes. Okay, better, but it's not really showing. Let's get the wide lens on. That's a wider lens. Okay, again, we're getting too much of the light reflection. Try that. Okay. Interesting. So there was a few shots. Now let's have a look at the shots. Where did we start and where did we end up? Okay, so and get rid of my HDMI feed there. Okay, we started with some watches. We did a few shots. We did a bit of playing about. They weren't really sharp. We added some extra light. We put them on a bit of wood. The light bounced back from the glass of the watch, so we adjusted the aperture and the position, and those are our higher apertures. So that gives you an idea of the types of photos. That one's got a blue tinge on the screen, but I'll see how it acts in RAW and see if we can bring some of that detail back. That's a quick look. Ideally, I'm just doing a one flash setup because I know not many people will have the full thing. If I took all 3 flashes out, put some soft boxes up, we could take this to a whole new level, which will probably be the 3rd episode. Here's a macro lens. We got closer. That one was blurry because the shutter speed was too slow and my hand moved. That's manual focus on the macro lens. That's a few on the wood. And that's some of the strap for some detail shots. That's the last one there. You can see where the light reflects back off the screen. So that was a quick session today to get you thinking about creative products and product photography at home. So keep an eye out on these videos. We'll do a few more, which will hopefully help you in your journey of making stunning product photos at home. Main friend is going to be good light.